seasonal change centered, end of the year centered, beginning of a new year centered activities. And I'd want to highlight that when we speak of building new legacy and just building legacy through a lens of our ancient, ancestral, sacred traditions, us speaks. We're also speaking of it through a lens of an interdisciplinary form of engagement, an interdisciplinary transcultural media exchange where we have conversations, life centered discussions, conversations, reasonings, gatherings. We also speak about the actionable deliverables that people are involved in. What are you doing in 2026? When you speak of having a resolution, which is very customary during this time of year, what does that manifest and really look like? How are you going to be able to measure and offer an accountability tool to your resolutions that you speak of at the end of 2025 when the end of 2026 comes forward? Granted that your life remains in place during that time because we wish for the best. The other part of talking around us speaks building legacy. Throughout this year of 2025, we've covered information and ideas that happen in the Caribbean, in the 48 contiguous US, throughout the Americas, from literally the North Pole to the South Pole, and everything between. We've referenced activities in Europe, of course, in Africa. We've gone to Oceania and other parts of the world to show a linkage, the rippling effect, the connectivity of human engagement, whether we've spoken of it through human rights or the violations thereof, whether we've talked about health and wellness and care and compassion, or the imbalance and the lack thereof, whether we've talked about peace and all types of peace building efforts that are happening around the world, or not, when there's been forms of terrorism and genocide and warfare that are unparalleled in human history. We've had a chance to raise some of these conversations and to listen to how many of our sisters and brothers have offered ways of learning, ways of thriving, not only surviving, but thriving through many of these global affairs. We've looked at it from a microscopic level of some of our individual losses and gains, what has happened in our families, both biological, extended, and spiritual, because they are slightly different. We've looked at our communities, whether we are in the Western Hemisphere, the Eastern Hemisphere, the Northern Hemisphere, or the Southern Hemisphere. And we've also looked at things through a lens of things that are regional to compare them. And we've also taken some time to just breathe and be settled.